Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my review slash recap of 90 Day Fiancé. I Now Pronounce You. So I know the I Now Pronounce You was mixed in with the tell all, but I'm gonna have to split it up because I Pronounce You had a lot of things in it, even though it was only an hour, and then the tell all, girl. I'm gonna do it a little bit different today. I'm not wearing any makeup, one. Two, I had to take down my braids because I made a 10 a.m. appointment to get my hair done in the morning like a fool. It is now that o'clock in the morning, 2:32 in the morning. But I'm doing it here. I'm here for you guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for you guys. So I'm gonna take down my hair so I can get the front redone tomorrow. I'm gonna be keeping it a little bit low because everybody in my house is asleep. Okay. So, trigger warning for those of you who don't want to see me take down my hair, girl. This is not going to be the episode for you, and I'm sorry about it. Go on ahead and do something else. Let's go on ahead and let's get started with Molly and Luis. So, where we left off the last time, we find out, or at least the producers find out, that Molly is married to Luis. So, when the producer sits down and has like a private little conversation with her, she gonna act like she doesn't know what happened, and Luis had been like just badgering her and asking her, why can't they just sign the papers? And she's like, but we're having a wedding. Like, I think she was more involved in having a wedding, or really adamant about having a wedding. And he's like, yeah, maybe let's sign the papers or whatever. So she called the lady over and signed the papers, and she tried to say that it was because she was worried or something that she wouldn't have enough time after the wedding to put the paperwork in, and so it made more sense. And she was just crying with the producer because she's like, I don't know what happened. So from our point of view, it seems like somehow Luis had convinced her to go on ahead and sign papers and get married, and then he went up and started acting a fool and acting like she was, doing witchcraft, and it just seemed kind of suspicious. And that's what the producer said, and Molly just started crying. She was like, I don't know. So like a day later or so after this whole thing, she has a conversation with Olivia, and this was hilarious, this conversation. So she goes downstairs to Olivia's room, and she's like, oh, I haven't been down here in so long. I'm so sad I don't get to spend enough time with you. And Olivia is like, okay. And she's like, well, I have something to tell you. I just want to tell you that I love you very much. And Luis and I signed papers back in XYZ, and so technically we're married. And Olivia's like, come again? So I don't understand. Like, what you're saying is that you're married. And she's like, yes. She's like, you weren't going to tell me, you weren't going to say anything. And she's like, well, there's a difference between a marriage and a wedding. And, I'm just so confused. Like, Molly was just so confused. And I'm like, why, Molly? This is the first time I'm like, Molly, girl, you are not confused. You know exactly what happened. You're confused and hurt that this guy is acting this way after you already just went on a limb and married him. And now he's acting like, all of a sudden he doesn't know who you are and you're some kind of bruja. And she starts to cry, and Olivia says the thing that I'm just like, okay, Olivia, you are Molly's child. A boss bee. She says to her mother, listen, don't come down here crying because I don't feel sorry for you. And it's exactly what it is. Molly done messed up, and she doesn't know what to do, where she's at, where she's going. She knows that Olivia's going to be upset. She goes down to Olivia's room because she doesn't want Kingsley to hear that this has happened. And she feels like she's been made a fool of by Luis, And I would absolutely feel the same way as well. Olivia makes some very good points. Olivia's like, I have been the only child for over half of my life. And I have a very special relationship with my mother, and it just seems like the one person that I'm supposed to trust and has my back has just lied to me about getting married. And like, weren't you gonna say anything? You're not a 20-year-old. You have responsibilities. You can't just up and get married to somebody. Like, I know you wanted to be happy, and I know that, you've always wanted to be married, but like, you're just being really irresponsible. You don't have the luxury of like just doing whatever you want to do. And like, Olivia is absolutely correct. She's absolutely correct, you guys. She's 100% in the right. Molly is not a young woman who can just do whatever she wants to do. She has kids, she has responsibilities. Like, she can't just up and let some dude move into her house, even though it's her fairy tale. And like, I just really wish that we didn't live in a society, and it's not just American, I just wish that we didn't live in a society in general that kind of equates happiness and wholeness with being married, because that's not necessarily the case. Like, in Western ideas, it's very romanticized, and it's all about finding your soulmate and finding somebody to spend the rest of your life with. So yeah, Molly just keeps saying that she's really confused and she doesn't know what to do, and I'm just like, girl, why are you confused, and what are you confused about? I'm confused that you're confused. Next, we move on to Annie and David. So in this part, Ashley, which is David's daughter, meets up with David, and you know, they have a real awkward conversation where Ashley's still holding on to her truth, and it's just like, I feel like you have set this all up. I feel like, you know, you are showing more love and time and attention to this woman you just met versus the children and the people that you raised and brought into this world. And David is just adamant about the fact that Ashley's an adult and needs to get over the fact that he wasn't there and he wasn't the right person to be her father, and that now she just needs to be happy for him. Ashley boldly just comes out and says, I feel like you just want to be with Annie so that you can have somebody to take care of you and have sex with you, and I don't support that. And you know, it's a bold statement. It is a very, very, very bold statement, and a lot of people have comments of the way Ashley speaks to her dad, and I really don't have anything to say, because people have different relationships with their parents. Children treat their parents the way their parents allow them to be treated, and I'm not here to judge any kid who behaves in a manner that I find to be disrespectful if their parent isn't even going to step in and say that behavior is disrespectful. Like, who am I? You know what I'm saying? David really thinks that Ashley is jealous of Annie, and I'm just like, she's not jealous of Annie as another woman. I think she's more so angry at the fact that David just is lackluster. Like, he just isn't what he's supposed to be, and he's just so painfully unaware of it. Then it comes out that the wedding is on her birthday. The wedding is on Ashley's birthday, girl, and she is upset. She feels like David has done it on purpose. David is saying it's just the way the timing worked out. It's with the K1 visa and all the things that needed to happen, that it had to happen on Ashley's birthday. I, for 1 second, don't believe that. I believe that David doesn't care. He only cares about himself, and he only cares about his happiness. He's talking about he came back to Kentucky so that his family could be at the wedding, and for some reason he thought his daughter would want to spend her birthday at his wedding. He's being very foolish and very naive. He has no idea how he's affected the children and his children if he thought that that was going to be okay. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be okay. From miles away, I knew it wasn't going to be okay. So the next scene we have with David and Annie is their wedding, and Nikki is doing Annie's makeup, and I was like, oh, that's so cute. Annie looks amazing. She looks so beautiful. She's got that highlight popping, girl. I was there for it 100%. Chris, the enabler, starts to give shots to David so David can drink, because he knows that David hasn't been drinking and has been waiting for his wedding to drink. So he gets him good and sauced right before the ceremony, which doesn't make any sense to me, but okay, Chris, because Chris is a huge enabler. Let's just go ahead and put that out there. David then calls Ashley to see if she's going to show up to the wedding. Ashley picks up and it's just like, I don't know, like, I want to enjoy my birthday. I don't know if I want to be there. I don't know if I support this. And he's like, well, that's your choice. I just really wanted you to be there. And I'm just like, he's so selfish, you guys. This man is so selfish, and I just don't understand it. I don't understand how you could be as selfish as you are when you have kids. It's crazy. David says he's ready to get on with the second part of his life, and I'm just like, what about the first part of your life, and what about the wreckage you left back there? But okay, selfish person, that's fine if that's how you feel. Ashley then decides that she's gonna go on ahead and come to the wedding, which I think was a bad move. I don't know if she had a couple drinks in her. I don't know if she got there and she just got even more upset, but she was sitting there front row after they said, you know, their I do's and you may kiss the bride. She's the only person in the audience not clapping. It's super awkward. Annie and David walk down the aisle outside of the chapel. They have a cute little session right outside. Annie is like, I'm no longer a free woman, and they're laughing or whatever. And then as people are congratulating David and Annie, Ashley walks up to David and says, I don't know if it's in his ear, but she was definitely mic'd, and she says, you know, I love you, but this wedding is a sham. And it's just kind of like, at this point, girl, you already showed up. You don't need to show up and be drama. Like, you don't need to show up and be drama. You're already here. Like, either go home or let it go. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Annie hears Ashley saying that, but, you know, I really hope she didn't, because honestly, her issue isn't with Annie, but she's making it seem like her issue is with Annie. She makes comment like, you know, she can take her Thai butt back home, you know, someone's gonna get stabbed with a stiletto. I mean, it just got real extra. It got real extra. I mean, to me, it didn't seem like she caused a huge scene, but it was enough for the cameras to pick up. And even her brother Jacob is like, look, he wasn't here for my birthday either, even though he promised he was gonna be here for my birthday. And it just is what it is. Just like, let it go. Stop being drama. Walk away. It's your birthday, but you also didn't have to show up, and you chose to show up. So, you know, I'm gonna need you to let this go. And for some reason, David thinks that Ashley is jealous of Annie, that Ashley is mad because the day isn't hers, and that it's Annie's day. And I'm just like, but the day literally is Ashley's. Like, it literally is Ashley's day because it literally is her birthday. Granted, she shouldn't have showed up, but to say that she's jealous because the day wasn't about her, that's so naive, and it's so silly. So that's the end of the story of David and Annie. The next time we see them is at the tell-all, which that is a whole other can of worms at that tell-all, girl. So now we move on to Andre and Elizabeth. So this part kind of made me sad because Andre is like getting dressed by himself in the apartment. Like, he has no one there. Her brothers, Libby's brothers, did not even step up to the plate and show up at all for Andre. And I'm just like, they're so petty. They don't trust him. They wanted to meet him, and then they meet him, and he's like not this gold digger, not this like guy who just wants to marry this American girl, and they're still not satisfied. And it's just so fun, so frustrating, their treatment of Andre. I don't really think Andre deserves that treatment at all. But Libby's with her family at the space getting ready. Andre calls her, and she's just like, look, he's just gonna have to be chill because technically I'm not supposed to see him or speak to him for 24 hours, and he's calling me, but I'm not gonna answer, and he'll be fine. And I was like, good choice, Libby. Good choice. So she's getting ready with her sisters. Her mom is there. There's some blurry, teary eyes, and it's really cute. Her dad shows up in full regalia, ready to walk her down the aisle. And he makes some like cheap joke about the fact that like, are you sure you want to do this? And then it's like awkward for a second. And then he's like, just kidding. You're just like, okay, Dad, thanks. That was awesome. Dad then makes some comment to the cameras later on that he really wanted to ask her if she was sure about this, but he didn't want to ruin her day. I'm like, aren't we over this? She's sure about it, you guys. Let's get over it. She's sure about it. Did I cut my hair? Ooh, guys, behind the curtains. Those of you who've never seen somebody take down their braids, we are behind the curtain. All right, so now I'm gonna use some Cantu deep treatment mask, and I'm just gonna detangle it real quick. It seems like it's a very beautiful wedding, and it's like in a beautiful like outside space. She has her flower girls, and I'm like, who are these little black children? Whose black babies are these? Are these Jen's black children? There was a bigger black man there, and I was like, if those are like, whose kids are these? But everybody seemed like they had a really good time, and Libby was so excited by the end of it. So their wedding was really cute, and Andre was wearing this really great color, like blue. He was wearing this really like interesting blue like suit. It was a nice cut on him. Okay, what happens next? Evelyn and David, girl. So next we have Evelyn and David. They get married. There's really nothing interesting about it. Her mother is teary-eyed. Her father starts to cry right before he takes her into the building. It's just an emotional moment, and I guess it's boring. Next, so now we have Nicole and Azan. So we find out that Azan has been given his interview date. She went on ahead and put in the papers, and she's having a conversation with her mom, in which her mom is like, you know, what are your plans? Like, what if it doesn't work out? And Nicole throws in the fact that like, oh, she might just move to Morocco if it doesn't work out. If he has his interview, he doesn't pass, like that's always an option. And I'm just like, why does her mom take her serious? Like, Nicole is not moving to Morocco. She is not moving to Morocco. And her mom gets so like, I don't want you to take May to Morocco. I'm like, what? I guess she's just really, really worried about it. And it's just so weird because it doesn't even seem like a viable option. You know, her mother is asking her very legitimate questions like, what if things goes wrong with Azan? What if things don't work out? And she's like, well, you know, I'm a very strong person. And you know how I handle tough situations, like with May's dad and how I handled that situation. So I'll be fine. We'll get through it. I don't see it being a possibility. Her mom is like, look, I don't want it to be a possibility, but I definitely think it could be a possibility that things don't work out. So you should really think about that. And Nicole is just like, nope, I don't want to think about it. I want it to be happy. And then later on in that bit, her mom was like, I don't even want to think about Nicole going to Morocco. She's not going. She ain't going. Both of them don't want to be thinking about any options in which they don't get what they want. And I'm like, everybody, let's try to be an adult. Think about all your options. So you just think to yourself, Nicole, why are you going through all this? Why are you putting yourself and your family through all this rigmarole? Why are you putting your daughter through this? Why are you putting everybody through this drama? This is what she says. We want to be together. We want to be together forever. So, you know, we've already come this far, so we're not going to give up. I'm like, so much of what? You act like you've been through a lifetimes of ups and downs, and like, you know, this person had cancer and you survived it, and this person had an issue and you survived it. You guys haven't been through nothing. You're just like children playing at an idea. You like, what have you been through? What have you two been through? That's what I want to know. We love each other. So love does not conquer all. Sometimes the reality comes in and kicks everybody in the butt. And then you just gotta do what's best and what's right for the young and innocent involved in the situation. And Nicole is just so selfish. Again, I don't understand what this obsession is with being happy synonymous with being married or being in a relationship. Like, it doesn't always equal that. Sometimes you just got to be happy with who you are and where you are in life, and then out of that you can grow into something exciting with somebody. But you know, what do I know? So that's it for this episode, you guys. The biggest thing that for me that happened was Annie and David getting married and Ashley acting up at that wedding. So yeah, those of you who were like, ooh, braids, how do they take those out? Now you know. Alright, you guys, thanks so much for watching this episode. If you're interested in my opinion on the tell-all, please come back and see the next video that I'll be posting. And if you're interested in becoming a Patreon patron and you like what I do here on this channel, please click the link down below. If you would like to join the conversation, please leave a comment down below. Alright, you guys, thanks so much for watching. Bye!